Attack on Titan VR game is something most of us have wished for, and it looks like we're going to have to continue wishing for a while. Attack on Titan VR was originally supposed to come out on Quest in 2023 this summer. Well, that's long past now, and they had said, okay, winter 2023. Well, one more revision now has it in the latter half of 2024. Universe, the developer that is working on the game officially titled Attack on Titan VR Unbreakable, says, we sincerely apologize for any inconvenience this may cause to those who've been looking forward to the game as well as everyone involved. To deliver the highest quality product to players around the world, we need a little more time to complete it. Unfortunately, that still leaves us only here with the first concept trailer to look at and hope that it's going to come out looking this good. But as far as we know, this may even be exclusive to Quest 2, 3, and Pro, as we have not been confirmed it's heading to anything else, and they even said in their most recent release about it, the game is targeting the 2, 3, and Pro. What do you think? Worth waiting for? That's now late 2024. That's a whole nother year away for those of us who are waiting for this. Although if you want a taste of Attack on Titan, there is Attack on Quest over on SideQuest you can get for free. Super popular game. Of course, a game that everyone has wished would come to App Lab, but because it was unofficially made, it probably will never make it to an official meta store. I hope that the delay means it's going to be worth it when it comes out, although recently it seems like more and more games get delayed and they still come out with issues, but that's a year. It's a long time. The VR Awards 2023 just took place, and we actually got an honorable mention under VR Content Creator of the Year because of all of you out there. Thank you so much. We weren't at the point of 60,000 subscribers at the time the nominations happened. We are now, thanks to all of you. But that was one of the defining characteristics you had to have to be considered a finalist. But with that, we've got some announcements of what happened for the gaming side of things, and VR Game of the Year went to Ghosts of Tabor. This was up against some good competition between Among Us VR, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners 2, Horizon Call of the Mountain, but Ghosts of Tabor did win it. Keep in mind, because these happened before the end of the year, there is a cutoff, so a game like Assassin's Creed that just came out didn't make the finals, but could be in next year's running due to that timeline. Also, a quick shout out to a big VR gaming channel. Beardo Benjo won Gaming Content Creator of the Year. Congratulations, Beardo. It's really exciting to be a part of it. They actually had us up in the pre-show even for the VR Awards, which was really cool, but it's all because of all of you out there, so thank you once again. Speaking of delays, Stranger Things VR has also been delayed, unfortunately, indefinitely. They said that there will be a launch date in the very near future, but still not announcing an exact date. This was supposed to launch yesterday, November 30th. This is a bit more surprising because this was something I got to demo even in New York a couple months ago when I was demoing the Quest 3. And although the experience had some jank and I wasn't extremely impressed with the climbing mechanics or what they were doing, it felt like the game was at least close enough that I didn't expect it to be delayed. Hopefully that delay means they're going to fix some of those mechanics we didn't like as much. Maybe the mixed reality mode will be even better. But what do you think? Were you looking forward to this? I know a lot of the Stranger Things hype has died down anyways, but it's just tough to see more and more things getting delayed, as we felt like we were going to have a really good holiday season with all of the new games. At least Arizona Sunshine 2 is still on track to launch on December 7th, barely a week away now, and now we've actually got to see a gameplay trailer of what this will look like on the Quest 2. A big question now is we have Quest 3 games coming out. Will they still look good on the Quest 2? And although this trailer opens up saying Quest gameplay, it does confirm at the bottom it is Quest 2 gameplay. And although you can see lower poly textures when you look at like the fences and the cement blocks, overall it still looks pretty solid. If you look around the edges, like in the umbrella when they aren't focusing on it, it does look like it's going to use fixed foveated rendering, meaning the center of the frame will be the highest definition point and the outside will be a bit more blurred. And when they open up the trash can, you can see the trash inside does look a little bit flat, but the scavenging in the other trash can, the text on the screen when you see the checkpoints pop up, all do look like it looks really good. And one of the things that actually has me the most excited is the skybox, weirdly. When you can see the clouds out in the distance, it looks good. Obviously, this will translate different to actually playing it in VR, but it looks like even the Quest 2 people are still going to get a good experience out of this game. That, and we know the game is fully co-opable, available on multiple platforms, and you can play with those same friends across all those platforms. I gotta be honest with you, my hype is cranking up here. Arizona Sunshine 1 was a fun game even with its jank. All these years later, I'm pretty excited about Arizona Sunshine 2, and it's almost here. How you feeling? If you're living that Quest 3 life and you're looking for some more mixed reality, or if you don't mind mixed reality on the Quest 2, there's a new game that came out that lets you dive into a submarine. This is an unusual mixed reality game that lets you set up your own house as the inside of the submarine, fighting leaks and trying to take care of it. The game is not free. It is on App Lab for $4, although there is free open beta access on the Discord server, but only available to the first 100 people. So it's likely even by the time this video comes out that those slots will be filled. I'm always on the lookout for some new mixed reality, so I spent some of my credit on this, and I'm excited hopefully to check this out with Nat tonight. There's a UK-based comedy series called Taskmaster that has multiple comedians show up on episodes where they are given a task and a number of hours to complete it, and then judges decide who did it the best. Well, now Taskmaster VR is looking to bring that game show into a VR game. Coming out next year on Quest and Steam, you'll be put put in the game as a contestant, and your goal is going to be completing tasks, things like smashing watermelons within a certain time limit, trying to impress the taskmaster. And it is the actual taskmaster from the show, Greg Davies, as the voice actor for the game, and even his assistant Alex Horn from the show. This is exciting to me as I love anything comedic in VR. It's not a show I'd never seen, but after watching the trailer while I was researching this, it actually looks like it might be kind of fun, although if they lean too hard into the reality side of it, maybe not, but it looks like a funny game show. If you've watched it out in the UK, let me know in the comments what you think about this, and do you think a VR game will translate over well? I enjoyed a lot of Sniper Elite VR back in the day, especially on the PSVR with the aim controller, and now the sequel Winter Warrior is out. Although it hasn't been out long, people are jumping in saying that the game seems okay, it seems worthy of buying, but it feels more like an expansion you're buying rather than an actual sequel, bringing up that the game doesn't seem to really add any new mechanics and just does more of the same, although people were happy with what the first game did, so maybe that's actually okay. One thing about the Sniper Elite series that was important to know, the first VR game was a pretty faithful adaptation of the style of game, but it didn't really tell you that if you weren't a Sniper Elite fan. You weren't aware that the game could be played multiple different ways. You could wait for a lightning strike to fire your shot if you wanted to move through a mission. Even a mission that seemed like you needed to run and gun could be played stealthily. Now with Sniper Elite VR finally dropping, it's only got a few reviews so far, giving it about a 4.4 rating, and people echoing pretty much the same thing in every review. Beardo Benjo, VR channel, if you don't know him, saying it's more of a reskin than a sequel. Gamer Tag saying it's more of the same but colder. People wishing that it had co-op. Another person in the reviews here saying more of the same, just a different season, but not bad for the $15 they paid. And one person saying it's worth the price just for the snow alone. Personally, as much as I loved Sniper Elite, I will probably get this and play it myself, although my favorite way to play it was with the aim controller, so I will miss that, having to go back to single-handed controllers even on the Quest 3. But what do you think? Did you like Sniper Elite enough to go back and pay more for another game that feels like more of the same, or just go back and play the first one again? When Resident Evil 4 came to Quest, I was so excited to play through one of my favorite games from my childhood again, but in VR. But then when we heard the VR mode was coming to PSVR 2, now I'm excited to play it with the full high-end graphics, and now this is coming next week, and there's even going to be a free demo. If you got the new Resident Evil 4 remake, you get this automatically as free DLC, but if you didn't, you can try out the demo still on PSVR 2. December 8th, whether you already have the game and you're going to get the full one for PSVR 2, or if you just want to try the demo, that will be available. That will let you play through the first part of the village and the shooting range. Although for the many people out there who didn't spring for a PSVR 2, is this something that would get you to actually go get one to play this game with these high-end graphics? I'll tell you, this will get mine off the shelf again and get me playing it. I'm excited to play through this whole thing again in VR with these updated graphics in the new game, and I never played it flat because I was waiting for this. Swordsman VR is one of those games kind of like No Man's Sky to me, where when it launched, it was one thing, but over the years, it has become something entirely different. This came out 3 years ago, and they keep dropping new updates to this game, adding more and more modes, more ways to play, the hand-to-hand combat. Now there's training grounds in a free update that has just come out. These are challenges designed for testing precision and strength. You've got a range for marksmanship, tatami mat cutting for sharpening your swordsmanship, and the punching bag for physical strength. There's cross-platform online leaderboards so you can go try and challenge your friends, and Swordsman VR is still $20 whether you're getting it on PSVR, Steam, or Quest. This is a game that has come a long ways from its roots, and if you haven't gotten it, I definitely think it is worth it. A lot of people compare it to Blade and Sorcery, but it's differentiated itself quite a bit more over the years. But if you've tried both, what do you think? Is Swordsman VR what you play more, or Blade and Sorcery? Some unfortunate news with the delays, but of course, more games are coming. Asgard's Wrath is only a few weeks away. Hopefully there'll be some more details to talk about on that next week. Arizona Sunshine I'm excited about, but Thankmas is this Saturday. If you don't know, Thankmas, yearly charity drive headed by Jacksepticeye. Last year, our channel raised, I want to say it was like $800 towards the cause. So if you want to hang out with me this Saturday, I'll be doing a stream looking to beat that amount from last year if we can. I don't know, that's a lot of money, but I'll be hanging out with you Saturday morning, Thankmas stream. And when I say morning, that's Pacific time, my time. So if you're over in EU, that could be much later in the day, but I hope to see a bunch of you there. Thanks so much once again for being here with me, and I'll see you in another reality.